think that I just come in there and look for knockoffs, and that's not the case. I'm actually a sharp, smart fighter.
So, well, I'm here. Who wanted to fight me?
I really don't care who's in front of me. I don't feel like no fighter can beat me.
Our goal is to demolish everybody, to be honest. Everybody that's in my way. The pinnacle to any weight division is to have all of the belts, all of the titles.
Welcome to Body Work. Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Body Work Boxing. It feels so good to be back. Sunday evening, y'all. A nice, relaxed evening, man. I just want to talk a little bit of boxing, man. Go over some things that been on my mind and get some things out of the way. Cause you know I gotta do things the responsible type way. And gotta try to be thorough, man, as I put these stakes in the ground, man, with this boxing talk, man, because everybody ain't able. But I'm gonna get to my housekeeping today. I'm gonna get to my housekeeping, man, and then get down to the meat and potatoes per usual. So what do we got here today, man? I hope everybody having a wonderful evening, man. We know that Danny card was yesterday. Mic check, 1 2 1 2, sounding exquisite. That's what I like to hear. But we had that Danny Garcia thing going on yesterday, and you know, Chris Colbert came back. Gabe Rosado came back and fought. Was it Vaughn Alexander? Yeah, I think Vaughn Alexander. Because it's Devin and Vaughn. And Gabe Rosado, he started calling for Maul Charlo. Which I wouldn't mind seeing that fight. I just want to see Maul back active, man. We're going to be talking about Maul later on. But I would like to see Maul come back. And with Gabe Rosado putting the, you know, with him saying the name, hey, why not, Maul, man? Why not, man? Because it's not many people calling you out. So, I saw that Danny Garcia had wound up doing this thing. And there's a couple other fights on. I seen one of the craziest fights I've ever seen. I wound up sending it to AC, man. I was like, it's the craziest thing ever, man. Dude, Buzz Buddy dropped him twice, had him hanging on for dear life, was reckless in his approach, couldn't put him away, wound up getting caught. So I see this dude got dropped twice, got a point taken away, but he couldn't close because he was getting all reckless coming in trying to seal the deal. He wound up getting caught. He fell up against the ropes. You know what I'm saying? Ropes had held him up because, man, he would have been off in the aisle somewhere, or, you know, probably somewhere down in the first or the second row. Then he survived that. Then he got hit a couple more times, and the ref came in and stopped it. I said, how do you go from having your man hurt that bad to where he's dropped, he's hurt, he's holding for dear life because he's getting the point taken away, and then you wind up getting caught? All in one round, man. It had to be the craziest round in boxing I've ever seen in my life. But boxing goes on, man. We get down to this housekeeping. Get down to the housekeeping real quick. Salute AC. Yeah, let's see. Get down to this housekeeping real quick. All right, the first thing, man, Paulie Malignaggi got beat the fuck up. Paulie Malignaggi got beat up, man. Oh my goodness, man. AC say salute. Salute. Yeah, man. Paulie Malignaggi got beat the fuck up. And I kind of enjoy seeing it. Normally, man, with the veterans and the guys, you know what I'm saying, the older guys who actually laced them up, I have a lot of respect. Paulie, I don't have that much respect for, man. So I seeing Paulie face, I was like, damn, you know what I'm saying? And that's, I don't know. I don't know why he's choosing to do this with his career. You know what I'm saying? That BKF, that bare knuckle fighting, man, I'm not sure why. But all I can say is maybe now his face actually matches his spirit. You know what I'm saying? Paulie got an ugly spirit, man. He can be very intentional on hating and pushing narratives and agenda. And I'm glad that he got Pro Box, man. Because if Pro Box wasn't going on for him, I don't know. And I don't even know why. He's like the oddball out on Pro Box, if you ask me. Because Paulie is very vindictive. We already know about his history. And I was kind of happy to see his face all busted up like that. You know what I'm saying? All of the shit that he be talking, especially about one individual, you know what I'm saying, who happened to be one of my guys. They go out of his way. Like, people, you could be talking about like two heavyweights, he'll bring this man up. You could be talking about a middleweight, he'll bring this man up. You could be talking about anybody. He's always going to just bring this dude up and just shit on this dude. There's one dude in particular, man. So I was kind of happy to see that Paulie got busted up by a dude named Tyler. He said he had broken ribs. Healing honey. Salute. He had broken ribs. He said at the time when I seen it, his face still wasn't hitched up. And he definitely looked like the beast on that one, man. And I'm like, well, maybe this is a shortcut to be able to get some pain medication. I'm not sure. I'm thinking it's a dumb decision because, guys like Austin Trout, they can do it. But I never seen Paulie on the level of an Austin Trout, respectfully. And I still even question why Austin Trout would do it. I'm not sure if it's a money thing. Because if you still had that urge, it's better way to do it. Like by lacing them up with an appropriate pair of gloves, some 10s, some 12s, do some exhibitions. Even if you want to get back in and do some real sanctioned bouts. Anything but bare knuckle. So I don't know, maybe Paulie wants some pain meds. Maybe he need the money. I don't know how much Pro Box is sliding them over there. I'm not sure. It's not none of my business. I don't really care. I was a little excited to see Paulie with a bust up face, man, because I really don't like the dude. I'm just gonna be honest. He's a very vindictive, contriving person, man. And a lot of the narratives, man, I feel like he kind of like rustle up a lot of other people, and a lot of people follow Paulie Malignaggi. He throw a lot of people be having. I noticed when them guys, when Al Jury and them other guys be having a good little thing going on, Paulie will kind of like come out of left field and throw some shit in the game, and it's just a testament to his character, man. So I think Paulie need to leave that bare knuckle shit alone. You know what I'm saying? I don't see how anything can come out of it other than you getting more broken bones. Your face becoming uglier than what it already is. And you ain't no spring chicken, so you can't be walking around with no broken ribs with all the shit you be talking. You know what I'm saying? So that's the first part of the keeping, man. Salute to Paulie, man, for letting Tyler tap dance all on his face. Number 2, Clarissa Shields exposed the fake ass boxing community. Where do I start with this, man? Clarissa T-Rex Shields, she's like 1/4 or 1/5 of active squad. She just exposed a lot of fake ass boxing fans and content creators. Why you say that, Mike? If you listen, I'm gonna tell you, right? This is just like when that dude came out and did the Exodus Files, that documentary on Devin, and people came out of the woodworks and they was co-signing it, even though channels like I would say like myself, in this particular instance, maybe myself, a channel like Southpaw, is like maybe 1 or 2 other channels who never flip-flopped on Devin and was consistent calling out all of the DHP BS. I'm not talking about people that just call they BS. I'm talking about people who never flip-flop on calling that BS. And like in the vein of Clarissa, some people been calling out Clarissa's BS for so long that we got fatigued with it. Like for the longest time, Clarissa I had kind of put her, even though I don't look at her in the same vein as Deontay, but it's like I never talked about them. It was certain people that it was certain bosses that I just put into where I'm just not going to talk about them because it's nothing. Most of the time, I don't have anything good to say about them. You know what I'm saying? And I noticed that people like to bandwagon these people, even though I don't think Deontay was nowhere as near as Clarissa. I'm just going to be honest. But this goes back to when she's been out of pocket for a long ass time, right? This goes all the way back to where her family member put her hands on that old man. And at the time, the LDBC, they were supporting her heavy at the time. They were taking up for her. They was making all kind of excuses for her. And some of us was just like, nah, man, I think Fred from Barbershop Conversation, he was one of the front runners and like saying and saying, nah, man, that's fucked up. Like, you can't do that. Like that was, he was one of the first ones, to call it out. And I can honestly say that he was one of the first ones that actually started, like, he was one of the ones that was actually keeping it a buck on Clarissa. You know what I'm saying? Early. Also she used to always call out Keith Thurman, and everybody gave her a pass for insulting Keith Thurman. And I was just like, man, I was thinking, I'm like, how does Keith Thurman, even though I wasn't always the biggest Keith Thurman fan myself, but I was actually saying, how are they allowing her to call out Keith Thurman? First of all, that is a pro boxer, like, who, unless you above average, even if you above average, like, you got to be borderline great to beat Keith Thurman. Like, we gotta remind people that Manny Pacquiao beat him, and that was mainly because Keith Thurman underestimated Manny Pacquiao, saying that he had, alligator arms, and just taking the fight for granted, and that's really the real reason. Like, and when you look at the fight, Manny won, but Keith kind of put down a demo. You see Manny face towards the end, Manny did drop him. You know what I'm saying? Made him spit his mouthpiece out. But Keith put in some work later on in that fight. And so outside of inactivity and him playing around, Keith was always a highly respectable guy, like a grown man in a sport, who made his bones in the sport. And at the time, people was like urging Clarissa on for going at Keith Thurman. I'm like, what are we watching? I'm like, well, who am I? I was like, I wasn't the biggest Keith Thurman fan, so at the time, it wasn't something I would go out of my way and make a video about to like defend Keith Thurman. But in conversation, whenever the conversation brought up, I would be like, man, it was a turn off for me that she would actually get away with doing that. And I think it was really like either people's personal hate for Keith Thurman, you know, because of, you know, being of an opposing fan base. It was either that or people's like overall hate for the PBC, that they allowed Clarissa to say things and to go down that vein when it came down to Keith Thurman. It's been a couple years now when she was doing it, and they dismissed it, right? And then you had like people like the politician was saying, it's all good, man, Kiefer, man, it's just promotion, playing politics. That's why I can't stand when people play politics when it comes to boxing talk. Because this weekend actually showed the politician came out and did a video about it, and then everybody else followed suit like they really cared. Like if you really cared, you would have been, it would not have taken, just like for people to see the light with the Exodus Files on Devin. Like if you've been following along and watching and listening to people who've been consistent with saying these things, then it wouldn't have took for no Layla Ali to do no whole little half an hour spiel for you to start telling the truth on Clarissa. You know what I'm saying? It's like it shouldn't take for somebody to do Exodus Files for you to pay attention to all the bullshit DHP been doing. It's just simple as that. But this exposed a lot of people that, one, people are not creative. Like I said, they are bandwagon people, right? They follow suit, and they're fake. They're phony. Everybody's with it, but it took for people to like ride the clout of Layla Ali to have their little whatever, say their little piece or their little part about it, to get their little jugs and all that. It's like, nah, because what that really meant was that y'all was cool with it. Y'all was cool with Clarissa and all the shenanigans she was doing until she actually got called out, until people actually was able to furnish receipts. Because again, boxing talk has become like the high school. You know, the high school where you got the in crowd, where you got the jocks and the hipsters and all that, and all those say, and whatever they say, that goes, even though you know it's not always right. You know what I'm saying? That's what boxing talk has become. And since nobody's really creative, nobody really driving home nothing, nobody is original in anything, they just wanted to take that, and that was just the whole, ain't that sad that was the whole highlight of this weekend? Layla Ali setting Clarissa Shields straight. And I always say, that's why I say my channel is silence is consent, meaning all it takes for evil to prevail is for grown men and women to remain silent. So we speak to things in real time. But I noticed that in real time, when you start keeping it all the way funky and all the way a buck on people, they don't want to hear it. Or it got to come from somebody that they actually like before they acknowledge what's really going on. So this was an indictment on boxing before everybody to have so much to say about this just because Layla Ali came out and said something about it. We've been seeing how Clarissa was moving. And then she was one of the ones where even when you try to give props, I tried to give her props a couple times. She just don't have the kind of personality. She don't move in a way that would actually allow you to actually give her props. Why? Because as soon as you give her props, she go out and do something else that as a people is going to embarrass you. She's going to embarrass you. So this is nothing but like she just got her bubble burst and she's on a path of no return. You know what I'm saying? She's going to be a crash out. You know, it's just like when people was talking, when I was saying that real stuff, talking that real about Keyshawn before he crashed out, everybody kept telling me I was speaking blasphemy and I was wrong and I was this. I'm like, no, just look at the moves. Like somebody like around gotta check the young man. They gotta intervene. There's too many level-headed, there's too many Hall of Famers, there's too many great boxing minds and great athletes around these people to allow them to continue these behaviors. But it always takes something drastic. It always takes somebody at a higher level or somebody else that everybody else respect or want to ride the coattails of before we actually start speaking the truth. This should not be so. You know what I'm saying? So I think that the light that Clarissa is getting painted in now, I mean, I kind of don't feel sorry for her, but I kind of do, because now she just saw how fake everybody is. Because that means that all these people that's just now speaking up and got all this shit to say, they wasn't keeping it real. They were just smiling in her face the whole time. That's why I don't want nobody around me that's going to be smiling in my face. Not telling me I got a booger in my nose. Not telling me I got toilet paper on my shoe. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, tell me I got something in my beard. Tell me I got cold in my eyes. Tell me I got a booger in my nose in real time so I can handle that. Don't smile and have me walking around thinking it's everything is hunky-dory And you laughing at me the whole time, or you being two-faced. Knowing you don't rock with me. Knowing that you don't give a fuck. You just part of the go along, get along. That's what Clarissa just saw. How many people were just in the go along, get along game? How many double standards? Also, a lot of people, Clarissa also exposed a lot of people in the fact that when she was barking up that tree with Layla Ali, nobody had nothing to say. They were still waiting on Layla Ali to actually give an answer to get back in the ring with her. And I'm like, y'all are some hypocrites. Hypocrites, because in one breath, they praised Jake Paul for doing it with Mike Tyson with the age gap that was there, right? But they praised Jake Paul for the money. And they said, oh man, Mike getting the money. But then they also was taken away from Jake Paul, saying he wasn't a real fighter. But people pick and choose when they say whether or not he is a real fighter, or they classify him as a real fighter or not. They also got exposed when Tank made the fight with him, when it was supposed to be for a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? A big pile of money and all that. People really, you really saw how people was exposed, because Canelo also had a fight with him. But what a lot of people was harping on with the Mike Tyson thing was saying that he was too old. And that's what I've been saying. I'm saying, man, people like Mike and Roy and them, it's like they can do whatever they want. But I think once you get past a certain age, man, you definitely can't afford to be getting hit in the head, man. We want to remember you as our heroes when we was little. I know, you know, we used to look up to Roy Jones. We used to look up to Mike Tyson. We want to remember them like that. And I think that's why Tank got so offended with that fight. And then originally, that's why he was saying he was, you know, mad at Jake Paul, because he felt like he was taking advantage of Mike. But I'm going to digress. Flip-flop, we flip over to Clarissa Shields versus Layla Ali. Everybody was with it. It was a lot of people that was with it. It was a lot of people that was egging on saying, oh, Clarissa came out and she said she had $15 million. And oh, yeah, man, man, would you take that money and would you? Hypocrites. Hypocrites. And Layla, being the business person that she is, she was using promotion, getting the eyes and promoting herself in the businesses that she got going on, like the savvy business woman that she is. So I don't knock Layla Ali, because this stuff is being brought to her. But who I do knock is all these fake ass boxing fans, fake ass content creators who act like they really care. Y'all really don't care. Boxing Talk is a mechanism for y'all to make money off of it. And y'all really don't care about the sport. Because if y'all really cared about the sport, y'all would have said, hold on, Clarissa, you are the A side. You got a young Shadeja Green who finally was able to get a title. She barely got that title, but they almost was getting ready to rob that girl for that title. So she get a title. Everybody would have put the pressure on Clarissa, who's running around talking about she fight the best and she this and this and that. Y'all would not have been urging her, calling on this lady that's like around, she a little older than me. I think she like 3 or 4 years older than me. I'm about to be 45 in December. She's a little bit older than me. And people was urging her on to get that fight. Maximum exposure, man. Boxing and what's going on. That's why I don't give a fuck about a lot of time what people be saying. That's why I don't have a lot of respect for what people be saying in Boxing Talk these days, because we already know it's all about likes, clicks, views, and money. Don't nobody really care about the sport. If they did, y'all would be holding the right people's feet to the fire, and y'all wouldn't always push certain agendas and be so flip-floppy. Always flip-flopping. Always like y'all either biting, stealing. I seen somebody with a whole 300 thumbnail today. That cat been biting. People use other people's terminology, using other people's talking points, it's kind of hard to separate intellectual property, because once you say something online, you're introducing the idea, you're introducing the concept. People can get ahead of you. People can kind of know what you like to talk about or what vein you stay in and try to get ahead of you and make that so it's kind of hard, even if you come out right and say something like Turkey and how he's a Trojan horse. Like, you can come out and say that, but then somebody else can come out and say it who comes out more frequently, have more followers, and people would think that idea came from them. That's all boxing talk is right now. Nobody really cares about the sport, and those of us who do care about the sport, we get shunned. We get told to relax. It's like, no, man, like it's we gotta start calling. That's why I love the concept, and I love the fact that this channel never had to change, man. I take solace in it. It's never gonna be the biggest channel out here. It's never gonna be the most popular. Why? Because we speak to things that will fall by the wayside. We highlight things in double standards and all the dirty work. All the dirty work. You know on the court, the people that got to get the rebounds and try to block the shots or take the charge. You know what I'm saying? Or go commit the foul. That's what this channel do. The dirty work. You know what I'm saying? That nobody really want to do. So y'all need to stop being fake, man. Y'all, I mean, I'm glad that Clarissa was able to see who's fake and who's not, and she's been wrong. She's been out of pocket. Why everybody mustering the courage now to tell her? And since she's 1/4, 1/5, I don't know if it's 4 or 5 of active squad, y'all need to police up the whole active squad. Keyshawn pretty much self-eliminated and crashed out, but if y'all would have kept it real with him, he probably wouldn't have crashed out. Eureka. Shakur's on a crash out campaign. Nobody won't check him. A lot of people sitting up here saying that they sitting up here. I noticed that the conversation be changing. It be getting real different and real tricky when people are trying to actually, and I don't have no, I've been said it was nothing to see. I've been called T.O. a clown. I've been said, hey, I wanted him to get his ass beat for talking all that racial stuff and all that, just like Paulie. You know what I'm saying? As much as I wanted to weaponize Boots against him, I didn't want Boots fighting another 40 moving up. You know what I'm saying? That's the only reason why I didn't like that fight for him. Now, I would have took Devin because Devin is supposed to be at middleweight right now. That's a whole nother story. But when I'm looking at Keyshawn right now and the conversation surrounding him, I said, man, a lot of people are trying to give Keyshawn the benefit of the doubt for some shit that ain't even signed. I'm like, how many times we done seen this movie before? And granted, some of the times was not that, you know, that the fight didn't get across the finish line. Some of the times it wasn't Shakur's fault. It wasn't Shakur's fault that Frank Martin pulled out, unless you want to hold him accountable for having to put a little extra on it. You know what I'm saying? The same way people were trying to say, oh, well, the offer that Tank gave him didn't have enough. That same vein when people flip-flop, unless you want to pull one of those. So we couldn't knock Shakur for Frank pulling out unless we hold him accountable for putting something extra on it. We couldn't knock Shakur for, you know, Schofield getting tapped on the shoulder and him pulling out, citing that he was sick and all that shenanigans. We couldn't knock him for that. But how many times have we gave the young man credit for shit before he's already done it? And if it wasn't for people actually accusing somebody of ripping or tearing down somebody's resume, I had already went through asking the question, what had made Shakur so great? Now that he's like considered one of them ones, and the ones that'll beat shit down somebody's leg or somebody really got to run from and all that. But I see now the conversation around Teofimo Lopez is changing. Now people saying, oh, it's not, oh, it sounds like T.O., he don't want to do it. And they putting all the onus on T.O. But I'm like, this that bullshit that I always be talking about when it come down, that's why I always say respect the shooter. I always say respect the shooter. This guy. Because when it comes down to being A-size, he has all the pressure to make everything happen. When it comes to other guys, they'll use him to divide and conquer, but it won't be the same pressure that they put on this guy when it comes down to being the A-side. So when I ask people this question, who's the A-side between Shakur and Teofimo Lopez, what would y'all say? I think a lot of people will probably be saying Shakur. Right? But then I see a lot of people slice Teofimo's resume and they discount it over time just because they don't like him. Now that's one thing. Just because I don't particularly care for the brother right now because of all of the bullshit he was saying, it don't mean that I'm going to take and take away from the resume and you know what I'm saying, do all of that. Yeah, we can we can say that he eked by on fights and got the nod, but we could do that with every fight when we say they got the nod. Sandor Martin probably should have got the nod. Zarilla probably should have got the nod over Regis Prograis before he fought Devin. Lomachenko probably should have got the nod when him and Devin fought. Even though I had Devin slightly edging that fight. Like, we can play the, oh, I got the nod, he got the nod game. But when it comes down to being two-time lineal, holding the belt the longest, all them other belts been playing, them belts been like musical chairs. They've been getting tossed up and passed around. Teofimo Lopez came up and got the belt from Josh Taylor. He made those defenses. He's in his second weight class. I hear a dumbass argument about people still want to argue minutia about Shakur moving up. Like, when he move up, will he be the man if he fight Teofimo Lopez and beat him? If he go up there and UD Teofimo Lopez, yeah, he'll be the man. And it sounds real dumb talking to boxing heads or listening to boxing heads or quote unquote boxing heads who would say he wouldn't be if he were to, because at that point, Shakur Stevenson will have 4 divisions. He'll be a 4-division champ, a unified champ, and he'd have been up and beat the lineal. Now you got to think, the other guys that had those belts, they all been at 140. They all in their first weight class. Only one of them, and Richardson Hitchens, haven't suffered a loss, aside from Tio. So what do we be talking about? That's not the problem. The problem is, why is there no pressure on Shakur, like, with this fight not happening? Because he was doing something that nobody asked him to do. Didn't nobody ask him to go up and fight Teofimo Lopez? Wasn't nobody asking him to leave 35 to go do nothing like that. He's volunteering to go do that. Under what guys? I mean, it's not daring to be great, because in the same breath, y'all saying that T.O. is the weakest link. I don't even think y'all qualify the arguments before y'all start making them, but y'all get out online and y'all just be yipping and yapping and y'all don't qualify. It's just like, oh, let's talk about this. And then y'all move on. It don't make no sense. So although he might not be the most threatening guy, if you're going to play the accolade games, T.O. would be the best pelt on the wall right now. It's arguable that Gary Antoine might be the toughest out. But if you're talking about pure boxing right now, I think Richardson Hitchens definitely give him a run for his money. With all the chips on the table, with all the marbles, pure boxing right now, Richardson Hitchens might give him the best run for his money, pure boxing. Sabril Matias might make him uncomfortable because, wow, that's a Zepeda. That's a William Zepeda that's taller, longer, arguably more power, higher motor, and that would definitely wear you down. He will work the shit out of that would be a fight where Shakur we would really have to see what Shakur got going up against Sabril Matias. Gary Antoine, he's the busher. He's gonna apply that pressure. He's gonna beat that bread basket up. He's gonna maul him. Teofimo Lopez, we don't know. If Teofimo Lopez rise to the level of his opponent like he did with Loma, like he did with Josh Taylor, Shakur might be in trouble. Because Teofimo is the type that's gonna, fight to the level of his competition, especially if he respect you. At first it seemed like he was respecting him, but I question it because it's this thing with Shakur, whereas unless he sparred you before, it don't seem like he'd be that confident to go up there and fight you. He tried to spar with Sabril Matias. That never happened. So no wonder why he wasn't going up there. And before Lamont Roach actually booked this fight with Pitbull, the Mexican Pinata, Shakur was trying to do that, talking about how Pitbull ducked him and all that. I wonder why. Because it's like 1,000 blueprints on how to beat the dude. Ryo beat him. Tank beat him. Like, if it was some sparring between him and Gary Antoine, I bet you he'd probably go up there and fight him. But no, it's been history with sparring Teofimo, and that's why he feels most confident. But it's real funny how right now, neither T.O. nor Shakur really on my good side. Why? Because they're not really moving the way that we would like them to. Because Richardson Hitchens won his belt Stopped Cambosis. Called out Teofimo Lopez, who was outside the ring. Teofimo Lopez wasted our time by getting in the ring and asking the fans, this what y'all want to see? And then what happened? And don't Mandela affect me, because I know Turkey Al-Sheikh was saying that fight was supposed to happen in Alcatraz. Then we start hearing all this Boots and this Devin and all this other stuff. All because Ryan wet the bed against Rolly. Changed up everybody else's plans. So Teofimo should be fighting Richardson Hitchens and giving him a unification. But Turkey came out and said that Richardson Hitchens, he don't want to see or talk or deal with Richardson Hitchens unless he deal with Eddie, and Richardson Hitchens had just completed his contract. He was shopping around. But we're going to put all the onus on T.O., yeah, because he's moving funny. Shakur's not even up there yet. We was giving him the benefit of the doubt once again by moving up there. But now we're going to put all the onus on Teofimo Lopez. Like, he moved. Well, who's the A-side? Ain't no pressure on Shakur. He part of active squad. He got Jay Prince. He got Turkey. But it was no pressure against. We gave him a mulligan. We gave him a pass for not wanting to fight Keyshawn when they was BFFs in the division. Some shit that we don't ever do. And being big bro or trying to big bro Abdullah Mason, although Abdullah Mason said, I'm not having it. It's a history between Tank, Richardson Hitchens, and Shakur, in which Richardson Hitchens and Tank are probably on the outs right now, but I think Richardson Hitchens and Shakur are cool. But with Keyshawn Davis being at 40, Richardson Hitchens being at 40, we're going to put all the onus on T.O. When it's a Gary Antoine and Sabril Matias up there too. And we're going to put all the pressure on T.O. for Shakur. When Shakur shouldn't even be up there. He should be knocking on the door and banging on the door for Javante to come back to the table. Boxing talk is funny right now, man. It's real funny, man. But let me that's enough for the housekeeping, man. When I think about these things, it don't make sense. And I hear people, all these gurus, all these the SMEs, the boxing subject matter experts. I hear all these SMEs online, and a lot of times nobody even check them. It's just, let's talk about this. They spend 5 minutes on it, and then they move right along like it's the gospel. And nobody qualifies shit that they be saying.
I just wanted to comment on a couple of things that you was talking about. Double down on some things and things like that. BKF, bare knuckle boxing champions, bare knuckle fighting champion, however they got it. That shit is a different monster. Where I'm at with it, I would tell, Paulie, unless you want to look like Chris Lieben, stay the fuck away from that shit, bro, because that nigga look crazy nowadays. Like, I don't know what's going on. But I'm just wondering, like you mentioned earlier, what the fuck's going on at Pro Box that you feel you want to go do this BKB thing or BKF thing? And for me, where I would say this, the only thing that would rationalize it for me is the fact that I've always looked at Paulie, right? I've always looked at Paulie of wanting to be the white version of Stephen A. Smith, but for boxing. He wanted to be Max Kellerman. You feel me? When Max Kellerman was Max Kellerman, he wanted to be that controversial dude. That dude that's just like, you know what? I don't really give a fuck. I'm just speaking the truth. If you don't like the truth I'm bringing, then invite me on your show, on your platform, and we'll debate it out. You feel what I'm saying? But
that makes sense.
You were disingenuous in your approach. Like, the lane was probably there for you, but you were so disingenuous and you wanted to be so controversial that people were like, "Whoa, Paulie, hold up." You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, you could say some goofy shit, but when you really look at Kellerman and sometimes when you look at, Stephen A. Smith, he's gonna say some goofy shit, but then it's gonna come or both of them are going to come with a series of things that are actually plausible. Like, you may have a point there. It's in a gray area, but you may have a point. Maybe. You feel what I'm saying? And you go through that, and it's like, damn, I wish I could get up there and debate with this nigga about that point. You feel what I'm saying? So they were really good at that, at staying in the gray area and causing you to think inside that gray area. Now, this on this side, this on that side. Paulie didn't have that ability. I understood what you were saying when certain things happen, when you were talking about identity and things like that. Because for me, for years, once I started putting my company or my first LLC out there, which was the Food Alchemist, you know how many people on YouTube and all these new platforms that I had to like really check? Like, yo, listen, I'm gonna tell you this. I own the copyrights to that. That is my LLC. What are you doing? Oh, I've been the original. No, you haven't. Look at the date I posted this video. Look at the opening picture that's there. What does that say? The Food Alchemist. You are not the originator of that name. So I'm asking you, or I will call YouTube and tell them, listen, this person is not who they say they are. They are not the Food Alchemist. I will send you whatever legal documentation to let them know. Now, I had to tell people, I'll get your fucking videos taken down. I had to literally do it to a black chick because I knew her from Facebook. Then she wants to steal my name on Twitter. And I'm like, Short, you can't do that. Oh, well, you ain't posting nothing on Twitter. It don't matter. That's not your name. That's the name of my fucking company. I have real people looking into that hire me. I use that as a reference when they want to hire me as their consultant. And I don't want people to get mixed up. Well, I ain't taking it down. Okay, no problem. Listen, this person is not who they say they are. Here's my legal documentation. Shut them down. Oh, you got me shut down? You motherfucking right. I told you. This is my money, shorty. This is not a game. So at the end of the day, I get that part. When you spoke of, and you and I are on the same timeline with this one. I never, let me put it like this. 9 times out of 10 cases, I do not respect the guy who got shot. I respect the dude who was tough enough to be the shooter. You feel what I'm saying? When I look at Western movies and stuff like that, and you see them like right there, and they're like 10 paces, we're gonna duel it out at high noon. Do you respect the dude laying on the ground or got the pistol shot out of his hand, or you do respect the dude that's with the little cigar roll up in his mouth, puffing out of each side, and he got the gun mad low, look like he just flicked it out of his holster and then shot this dude gun out, and the dude is on the ground, the hand shaking, looking like, what the hell? You respect that guy? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, bro? When did that guy become the hero?
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? He might be the hero in the beginning because he didn't know nothing, and he's the main character. You feel what I'm saying? But eventually, he becomes that guy with the Mexican poncho type thing, the little cigar hanging out his mouth, and now he like, wow, just flicking his gun out, dropping dudes.
Yep.
So it's like, bro, stop that mentality. Y'all weird with that. You feel what I'm saying? Clarissa Shields. This whole Clarissa Shields and Ali thing. Like, for me, when I first saw the video, I was wondering what was the old dude's real issue was. Then I found out, it was on some boxing shit and everything. I never liked the fact that Clarissa Shields' brother felt that he needed to come in and put hands on that old man. I'm like, that's a professional boxer there, bro. She can kick that old dude's ass any fucking day of the week she wants to. Like, you didn't need to do that. Like, that was just on some real punk ass bully shit. Yeah, the nigga might have said, whatever, but he was concerned for his fighter. And you got to understand that's an emotional thing that you completely just fucked up, your sister's level of professionalism right there. When you spoke about Clarissa calling out Keith Thurman and people was giving the pass on that, I kept on saying, like, listen, I guess you dudes who's giving her a pass forgot the fact that she tried to call Billy Joe Saunders out because Billy Joe Saunders made that video about how to knock your wife out if she talked too much. I thought that video was hilarious. I didn't think he was being professional about it. It's like I was sitting there on a date, right? And me and this chick went on a date and we went to go see Mr. and Mrs. Smith. The movie with you know the movie I'm talking about, right? And the scene where the scene where they're in the house and they're scrapping and shit like that, and then they fall behind the couch. Mm-hmm. He's like kicking her like douche. Yeah. You feel? I started dying. This chick got mad at me. Like, what kind of man would laugh at some shit like that? I was like, the kind of man who wrote that scene. What the fuck are you mad at me? Because there's a nigga who wrote that. If Brad Pitt had a problem with it being a goddamn man, he would have been like, nah, I can't do this scene. But you mad at me because I'm laughing at it. Yo, bro, I literally got up and moved away from the chick. And I left her in the movie theater. She called my cell phone like, you ain't giving me money to get home? I said, shorty, I can't turn around right now. I'm gone. I'm at least 6-7 miles away from there. Yeah, that fucked up. You the fucked up. I'm like, yo, shorty, like, don't come at me like that. I paid for the movie. I paid for your popcorn. I paid for your soda. And then you want to get mad at me because I laughed at a part that was meant to be funny in the movie? The fuck out of here. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm just cold-hearted like that at times. So I thought that the video that old boy did was kind of funny. What we have to realize is Layla Ali is 47 years old. She'll be 48 this December, like early December. You feel what I'm saying? That's just the reality. And it's a 17 to 18 year difference. You feel what I'm saying? So no, I'm not doing it. And for me, when I go back to how all of this started, I remember an interview because I was a huge Layla Ali fan at that time. And I'm gonna speak out honestly, and I'm gonna say I was a huge Clarissa Shields fan at that time. Layla was asked, and I think this was when she might have been 3 to 5 years, might have been more closer to 5 years of retiring, right? Mm-hmm. She was asked about the state of female boxing, and she was like, yeah, I love it. And she was like, yeah, there's a lot of young talent, a lot of young females out there that, can do things that have the ability to do things that, when I was in boxing, it just wasn't plausible and doable. We were just a small group of girls who were trying to make a name for the sport. And then the reporter asked her, it was a female reporter. She said, let me give you this picture. You're at the height of your career. Clarissa Shields is where she's at. Do you make that fight, and how does that fight look? She said, yeah, I would make that fight. I would love to fight Clarissa, but I don't think she's on my level just yet. She needs some more time, which Layla Ali was absolutely correct, because at that point, Clarissa Shields really ain't did too much, but really win the Olympics. I think she was on her second belt. You feel what I'm saying? And Clarissa Shields hears about this, and then it's, well, I don't like nobody talking shit about me, and how dare she talk shit about me? I did much more in the sport that she ever did. I'm a two-time Olympic, whatever, whatever. I brought the gold home when no man did, and she started basically just going off on the one or two belts that she had in her Olympic pedigree, and it's just like, yeah, but your name isn't that of legacy like Layla Ali. So slow down, run your race, and we'll see where you end up. Will you reach that level of greatness, at least to be a GOAT? And she just kept on going on, and it got to the point where at that short amount of time, she was like, if this bitch really want to do it, I'll come out of retirement and do this shit. Clarissa Shields shut all the way the fuck up at that point. At that point, I don't remember her mentioning Layla Ali at all for a good minute. Might have been a year or two. But moving on to Tio, I'm a person who feels this way. When it was brought up in the past, when both guys down at 30, when Shakur was still at 30 and Tio was at 35, I was like, to me, after he beat Loma and everything, and people were talking different things, I was like, in my opinion, I might give the edge to Tio as far as being the A side, but the people who are co-signing Shakur Stevenson, he's going to be the A side. But I'm a person who thinks, as far as what was actually done in the ring and what's your accomplishment. Yeah, you're a 3-division champ, or not. Shakur wasn't even a 3-division champ. Yes, you're a 2-division champ. Yes, you are a lineal champ, just like Tio was a lineal champ, or is a lineal champ. So, for me, my argument at that point was, I was pissed off at Loma because I said Loma robbed Teofimo Lopez of his ability to become undisputed. You did not have to drop that belt. You chose to drop that belt. You feel what I'm saying? So in my opinion, I just hated the fact that Loma did that bullshit, and it really fucked me up. And for me, if Shakur does win the fight, he'll be 2-division lineal, just like Tio's currently a 2-division lineal. So that's pretty much it on what I have to say. And just to land it right here, I don't see Shakur wanting to get in a ring with Richardson Hitchens. I just don't see it, because he's not going to have the advantages. And I could also say this: I do remember Shakur been calling for a Pitbull fight ever since Pitbull got up to 140. When him, Keyshawn, and Ryan was on that live together, he was like, "Well, I want Pitbull. I want Pitbull." Keyshawn was like, "Well, if you can't find nobody at 35, fuck it, I'll fight you. But I want Pitbull. I want Pitbull." I was like, wow, that told me everything I needed to hear.
Yeah, I think let me go back to I'm gonna address this point. I think I don't know why, but for some reason it almost feel like Shakur is trying to appease Cam and Mace with this, because they the ones who told him to go fight Tio. They the ones who told him to go do that. And it's no direction over there. 1 minute it was because it was just kind of been, which made no sense. That was almost like I had been done pretty much trying to make sense of what he was saying. I was like, then I said, man, he just saying anything right now. He know that he got the world in his palm right now, and he knows that boxing is real thirsty, and he's starting to really figure out how to manipulate the fans and social media, because he was saying it was going to be Conor Benn. But Conor Benn He fights at 47, but he was going up to 60 to fight Eubank.
Yeah.
But Eddie wants to wrap him up in bubble wrap and keep him away from Boots. So he couldn't even do it. But then he says that he wants Conor Ben to fight people like Mario Barrios at 47. So Shakur pretty much sized him up like he always do and say, hey, I could take him and I'm gonna go up there. No mention of bad hands. Remember, no mention of no bad hands, and you know, he was really entertaining that. And at one point in time, he did say that he offered or reached out to Pitbull, but I'm like, he was real selective, and that was one of the first things where I said, you know what, I got to get off of this Shakur train because he's starting to be selective. I was like, well, I know Tank, he get a lot of criticism for being selective with his opponents, but I noticed that other people can be selective with their opponents and they get all of the grace in the world. Because I'm like, the only reason why people really want to fight Pitbull Cruz is because of the same thing that I knocked Pitbull Cruz for. Pitbull Cruz do not belong at 140. You don't have the dimensions for it. He would be a highly formidable opponent at 35, and Lord forbid if he was able to get down there at 30. Like, can you imagine if he was able to imagine seeing him and like Nick Ball, like Cruz and Ball, like a fight like that. Like, that's what he is.
Him and Navarrete at 130. Oh, two sluggers. One is slow, one is just. But they both got power. That's why for me, I'm like, I've been saying it. I'm like, I think if he can make it, go to 130, bro. That's where you'll get your legacy.
Yeah, I mean, at a minimum 35, but like I said, at 40, at this point with the blueprints that's been out on him, he's a pinata at 40. And so I started looking at how selective Shakur was, and that's why I keep saying you can't have somebody be that selective and then you be wanting to put him like up there with Ward and Bud and all them. I mean, even though, I mean, you know, I'm not gonna go down that path, but like, you can't anoint him up there with them guys with him being that selective. But I notice how this conversation goes. It's real funny, man. It's been getting real funny here lately where everybody was excited about him and T.O. And the longer it go without no announcement, they're trying to point fingers at T.O. And I'm like, hold on. Isn't Shakur Turkey's guy? Like, last time I checked, Shakur was Turkey's guy, not T.O. T.O. just got Turkey just reneged on that contract with T.O. T.O. had a contract. That's why T.O. was so pissed. He was like, I'm not taking less money because it's Devin. Just because Ryan fucked up the apple cart. I'm not taking less money because of that. We had an agreement. Turkey is jerking T.O.'s chain. That's not his guy. Last time I checked, Shakur was Turkey's guy. So when it come down to some A side, and if Turkey is in pocket, and Turkey, I mean, and Shakur is with Eddie, who is invested in Eddie. I mean, Turkey's invested in Eddie, but Turkey has the bag, and we know that Eddie works closely with Turkey when it comes to big fights. So if the guy that's under control, up under Turkey's armpit, is Eddie, who has control of Shakur, the pressure should be on Shakur. Just because we say he's the A side to everybody else except for Tank, right?
Yep.
Okay, so why would we even be looking at T.O.? T.O. is T.O. is over there with Bob, but they like a man without a land right now. They outsourcing their work. So how was the conversation? As much as we don't like T.O., how is the conversation, the pressure supposed to be on T.O. right now? It don't make no sense. And people just keep regurgitating this shit. I'm talking about people will get online and talk for 2 hours every day, and they keep saying the same shit, and they never get to the bottom of it. It's like they know a new group of casuals gonna come in and listen to that shit. Like, oh yeah, OG, he be cooking. Oh yeah. It's like, no, you don't. Nobody makes this shit make sense. They just throw shit out there without no logic, no rationale behind it. So that's why I'm having the topic that we're having tonight, because we gotta deep dive into these things and we gotta hold these standards, because it's loose right now. It's just like right now, out of the Layla Ali and the Clarissa Shields, Fuck all of the drama and the gossip and all that. Right now, I hope that what it would have done is create pressure around Clarissa to send a contract to Shadeja and fuck the dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? Because see, you done barked up a tree, and because you want to be clout chasing and you want to do all this, and you a superstar and you want to be an aristocrat now and all up in the lights and the social media light or whatever. Now you done barked up the wrong tree, and Layla checked your ass. So now, hopefully, you got some humble pie, and you're gonna do what you should have been doing, which is focus on people in or around your weight class or the best fights possible. Because if you don't, MVP and all them girls, they're gonna surpass you. Because it's already you already make it easy for them to keep you on the outside looking in because of your mouth.
Yep.
So she should be running towards Shadeja Green right now, saying, "Hey, let's make this happen. This is what I got. This is what I. If you have 15 for Layla, okay, you ain't got to pay nowhere near none of that to get Shadeja in the ring. Yeah, all you got to do is offer the opportunity, and then if she don't accept it, then okay, you can say you can, you know, saying clout chase or try to bring her down. But that's the real smoke. That's what she need to be getting at. Fuck all the gossip.
Yeah, and if you ain't on the jack with Shadeja, then holla at Jake. Like, why are you not trying to sign with Jake, and Jake is going to give you more exposure? So you feel what I'm saying? Because you came out your face and you was all bent out of shape because of what happened with Amanda Serrano, and then you know you were on some political shit with your little whiteboard. Like, no, see, here's what our numbers were right here, and I'm going to circle it with the red pen right here. These were our numbers. This right here was their numbers, and mine was an all-girl card. So that's why you gotta say I did better, because I'm putting in the new rule that mine was an all-girl card. So she ain't did an all-girl card and that got numbers like that. So that's why that whole even if you take Jake Paul and Mike, none of that mattered because it wasn't an all-girl card. And I'm like, Clarissa, girl, come on, man.
All right, well, I'm not gonna harp on it. We didn't clean house. Look, we didn't clean house. I know there's some people that want to come up and chop it up with us, but let's get down to the meat and potatoes now, man. So we can get into this book. Let me see. This is what we're dealing with here, y'all. So in less than a week, Jerron Boots Ennis, he went out there.
He got the baby Tims.
He got Uizma Lima up out of there on a 2-minute drill, in and out like a robbery. He got out there. He made his call outs. We went over each and every one that he called out, and we qualified if what this guy, Bakhram, we qualified if what he said was correct, in that they all say their name. He said, everybody mentions me after their fight, but when it comes to business, they disappear. Well, immediately that night, he responded back to Boots and said, I'm ready. And when Boots said, I heard the Cub, he said, I heard that Cub one. I mean, I heard he's been saying something about me. He can get it too. Well, that Cub, who happens to be one of my favorite fighters, my top 3 right now, Jermell Charlo, who I've been waiting to get back, you know what I'm saying? I even did a video about him when your favorite fighters go dark and shit. And like, he was one of him and Errol Spence. He came out, and it was very interesting because he was saying that he gives Boots problems. That was one of the things he said, man, I'll give Boots all kind of problems. And what I realized, what I was looking at is, in this new era, everybody is so used to calling everybody out that when the real ones answer, they are held accountable for the original call out. So you get out there and you call out and see the culture to get out, yeah, say the name and yeah, and like just like just like they were saying they've been heavy on the Bud. I'm like, well, stop that, because if Bud ain't showing no signs and fighting you, it's almost like you chasing somebody or you saying somebody's name who you know ain't gonna fight you, so they relieve you the obligation of the real smoke that's really there. So I took Bud off of it because you can't make Bud do anything. I'm like, you're not gonna make a leopard change his spots. He's not just gonna automatically start moving the way you want to now because they saying you are the next him. It's nothing guaranteeing that the man is ever gonna get in the ring for you. Everybody, their mama was trying to get him to do something to pass the torch a long time ago. His eyes wasn't set on that. Since then, he's went up one division from welterweight to junior middleweight, and then he jumped all the way up to 168 and knocked the king of the hill off. He has no obligation to fight you. He's not even looking at your weight. He's telling you to do something. So in an era where everybody's always used to calling people out, when the real ones respond, they're not used to people saying, all right, I'm right here, what's up, I got the smoke. So Bakhram Jermell, he got something going on Tuesday. So I think this purse bid is with Josh Kelly, it's supposed to be on Tuesday. So that's the 21st. That's the day after tomorrow. We'll see what's going on. But he responded and said, I'm ready. He don't have a fight. Last time I checked, Virgil Ortiz and Erickson Lubin, they have a fight. That's getting ready to come up. So they locked up. So you can't put all your eggs in that Virgil Ortiz basket. And another thing is, I'm not sure why you would. Why? Because Bakhram got a belt. It was the same thing we was asking Erickson Lubin as to why you didn't follow through with the Bakhram fight. His reason was it was taking too long. He said negotiation was taking too long. He figured Virgil had the fan base, and with that fan base, and that shot is going to put him right in line for the WBC belt. So, cause that's gonna be an interim title if he were to win. That was just Erickson Lubin's reasoning. However, him and Virgil Ortiz, they already have a fight. We need to put both of them off to the side. Jermell Charlo came out around Wednesday. I think it was around Wednesday or Thursday. Came out and did a video calling Boots by name, saying I give Boots all kind of smoke. He's like, man, we can get it on. He's like, I come from this area. He said, I was still fighting when, he said, I was on a Bernard Hopkins undercard. He said, I was fighting when Floyd Mayweather was there. I'm here fighting afterwards. I went on and got undisputed, and now I'm in a whole nother generation. But he is one of the ones to where he's in that class where Bud is at. Bud ain't thinking about you. He ain't stunting you. Jermell said, I'll be your Huckleberry. The only thing is, Jermell said a number that I don't know about. He said 10 mil. Now, first I said, yeah. Now I can't. One of the reasons I said, man, listen, that might be an easy way for them to say, hey, you might be pricing yourself out, because I'm not sure if there's 10 mil on the table for you to fight Boots. But we are talking about Turkey, so it could be, and that's a big fight in my opinion. That's a very notable fight. That's something that Boots would definitely need. He get a Jermell Charlo pelt on his wall after having undisputed at 54, and you're campaigning at 54. And he said, "This is my weight division." He said Mel said he'll fight Bud. He'll fight Boots. That's who he said. But the 10 mil, I said, well, Boots fans are going to say, "Oh man, you might have priced yourself out." Now, in the art of negotiation, you do start kind of high, and then maybe somebody counter low. So maybe Mel was saying 10, they're gonna come back with 3, and then they'll land at around 6, and they'll be able to get it done. Something like that. I don't like getting off in their pockets. But he did pop out and say, listen, you called me out, I'm here, what's up? Before that, he had a lion chewing on a boot. So I'm like, now the ball is back in Boots in them corner, and it's been once again a mouse pissing on cotton once again, AC.
Yep. And that's the bullshit with a lot of this stuff, because at the end of the day, the names that people been saying that the fans will not be mad at these fights. The Boots fans will be like, yeah, but he's this and he's that, and ain't no money in it for him, and he's been on the layoff too long, and this and that. Okay, so that's how you feel? Yeah, yeah, yeah. What did you feel about Adrian Broner versus Blair Cobb? Nah, that was different though. Oh, okay. Why? No, it was just because they both didn't. They both, we not even. They not even on Boots level. I'm like, that's your reasoning. Okay, but for me, Mel Charlo never lost his belts. Never lost those belts. Once he became undisputed in lineal, they were all taken from him. He dropped one voluntarily, but all I'm saying is this: people are not going to shit on Boots for fighting a Mel Charlo. They're not going to say he was an old man, he was this, he was that. No. Because Mel will get up for that fight. You feel what I'm saying? And it's I just don't get it. In Bakhram, you got two solid names, but people will tell you, no, they're not. There's something wrong with these two guys. The person that he should fight is the what's that? The WBA champion. They're like, nah, he should fight him. And I say, okay, he'll have the belt. You feel what I'm saying? Okay, I ain't got no real problem with that. And then he can call out Mel and try to unify with Bakhram. Why would he do that? What do you mean? Why would he do that? He should fight Virgil after that. Yo, Virgil has no belt. He said,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're gonna fight Virgil with no belt, that's the WBC. Now, him and Lubin are gonna fight for the WBC interim. So if you will fight Virgil with no belt, why wouldn't you fight Jermell for no belt? And he was undisputed at 54. But I see this, AC. People are selective when they be dinosaur hunting. You ever notice people be real selective, man, when they be dinosaur hunting, man? Because I remember when Conor Ben, Devin, I believe Boots, Blair Cobb, they all were looking for AB.
Yeah.
They all were saying AB name. Blair Cobb in his unconventional way was the only one to actually get him. You know what I'm saying? But they all were looking for him. But remember, Conor Ben, they all, because having a Chris Algieri, because Conor Ben wound up getting a Chris Algieri, they all were dinosaur hunting. They all were looking for that second tier. I remember Devin, he was looking for the Robert Easters. You know what I'm saying? He was looking for the Mikey Garcias. Like, when they dinosaur hunting and they think they can use your name, either they're going to use your name for clout and make it seem like you won't fight them, or they're selective in the dinosaur that they actually want, like the older gentleman that they actually want. Like now.
Here's the logic I use for this whole situation. I said, okay, if you feel this way about Mel Charlo, right? What makes Teofimo Lopez special for Shakur if Shakur goes up and fights Teofimo Lopez? He has a belt and what else? Oh, he'll be the man. Why? Just because he beat Teofimo Lopez, the WBO champion? No, because Teo was lineal. Okay, all right. What kept Tyson Fury in the game? And Tyson Fury said his first two fights, and even the fight with Deontay Wilder, was for what in Tyson Fury's mind? It was for Millennial Championship. You feel what I'm saying? So Tyson Fury's whole claim to fame coming back was built on his lineal championship. No one has ever beaten me. No one is going to take my lineal championship from me. Those are Tyson Fury's words. Who is the lineal champion at 154? They ain't got one. Oh, there is no ring belt. But there is a lineal champion.
Yep.
It's Mel Charlo. So if you want to be the man, according to the logic that, in the past that Shakur would get, then here's the thing. Be the man and fight Mel Charlo. because then that'll make you the man. Because you beat the lineal champion. You feel what I'm saying? Whether or not you have a belt at that time and you make the fight, okay, guess what else it does for you? The same thing where they say it gave Teofimo Lopez his credit. He would be a 2-division lineal champion. So at the end of the day, what are we talking? What are we talking?
And look,
it makes more sense to do that than most of the shit you doing.
Yeah, and the fact is they don't have fights.
Yeah.
One is getting ready to go to a first bid, but we don't know what's gonna happen. More than likely that, they probably might try to protect this guy, Josh Kelly. I don't know if he feel like he got a shot or not. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really concerned with Josh Kelly, but Jermell Charlo don't got a fight. Bakhram ain't got a fight. Virgil got a fight. Erickson Lubin got a fight. Boots just went in there 2-minute drill.
Yeah, basically.
He looking for a fight.
So
what is the problem when you call these guys out and they answer back? Now what?
So
stop
this is where
Bud. Stop worrying about what Bernie and all them saying about Bud and all this, because it's like y'all keep entertaining that because it's almost like a convenient distraction for y'all. That's why I wish Bernie and them would stop doing all of that. Like I wish they would stop doing it because it's almost giving Boots and them a way out. It's saying, oh well, look at them, man. They still talking about, well, if he ain't gonna fight me, why they keep talking? It's like, no, man. Who are you gonna fight? These guys, two of the names that you called out in your post-fight interview said, I'll be your Huckleberry. What's up? I don't have a fight. Where's the smoke? Where are all the people from Philly? Where's YSM and all them guys doing videos saying, all right, cool, these guys done got back. They done answered back. They done hollered back, youngin. What's going on?
But this is where I would say, if this was the instance or this was the game plan, I wouldn't have a problem with it, and I'd be like, okay, yeah, that actually does make a lot of sense for me. And this is where I'm gonna put this scenario out there. Boots, let's say you go fight the WBA champion, right? Mel comes out and Mel is looking for a tune-up, right? So let's just say Mel's tune-up, to have a big name for his tune-up and a great fight for him, and just for the fans' sake as well, would be a fight that I think we was asking for a very, 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 very long time ago. Mel Charlo versus Keith Thurman, when they both were kind of like in the 54 zone.
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Who's gonna have a problem with Mel versus a Keith Thurman? I honestly, Keith Thurman looked really, really sharp. You feel what I'm saying? But part of me is like, I feel Mel takes that fight because Mel's body work is horrendous. I mean, I was gonna use the word like horrendous, but I mean horrendous to the point where when you just look at it, just the brutality of it. You feel what I'm saying? When he's right there in that pocket and he's shooting his combination and he finishes his combinations off with those body shots, them the shit you really hear. So it's like, maybe it's a lighter touch. Who knows? But for me, I'm just saying, to really build that fight, if Mel was going to come back, give us a nice, really good, strong, type tune-up type fight. Boots, go ahead and take the WBA champions belt. You feel me? I wouldn't even give a fuck if both of them was on the same card. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So we have a snapshot of what both guys, so the recency bias is right there, same night. So for me, it's just like, yeah, I would give Boots a huge pass on some shit like that if that was the gameplay. Like, yeah, I'll give you the opportunity to, you know, get yourself back in fighting shape. You know, do your tune up, and you feel me? Because I asked for 2 tune ups, and you know, whether people want to classify my shit as a cherry pick or, you know, whatever. I already got 1 tune up in the bag. So, fuck it. You feel what I'm saying? That would be the only way, and that'd be the only way I'm like really, really on board. Like, yeah, that shit makes sense. I want to see that. I want to see what Mel gonna look like when he come back, you know, and blah blah blah. I hope he get to stop it.
Now, AC, that would be acceptable if that was being verbalized.
Yeah.
But they know, just like us, like, see, that we'll see 1,000 interviews of people making 1,000 videos of responses to people getting interviewed and asked questions. We'll see 1,000 responses, but why don't we get no responses on these call outs? And that's really what I want to get to the bottom of, because we're in the age of the call out. And like I said last week, I said it's real sad when you see people our age saying, "Oh yeah," and I'm gonna say 45. I'm gonna say when you 45 and up, and you're encouraging these guys, attach yourself to this person name. Yeah, say this guy's name. It's like, nah, bro, that's not from the era. Like, you don't say the name just to be saying the name. Like, you say the name because you have intentions on fighting them. Like, if the opportunity, you shouldn't be saying nobody's name unless, as soon as the opportunity presents itself, you're going to take advantage of it. Otherwise, you shouldn't be saying that person's name, because that's what they did with Bakhram. It's like, why would you be saying his name if he say he available and you saying, well, nah, actually, I really don't want that belt first. I need to be unified first because it's 10 pounds and whoop-de-whoop. So that's really what I want to get at now, because it's real convenient in this era where everybody wants to call everybody out. But what happens when your bluff get called? That's the stage we're at right now. Like, you said these names, you got up there, you did the cute thing, you said these names out loud. See, because it's different when people get up there and they say Tank name, the shooter. Everybody can get out there and say Tank name. Oh yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. He at the top. But then, man, they would be like, if Tank, like, so imagine Tank got online and was like, yeah, I heard Schofield call my name, or I heard Keyshawn call my name. Like, yeah, I'm ready to do that whenever he ready. Matter of fact, I'm getting ready to get on the horn. The internet will go crazy. What's the difference, AC?
There is, like, in that type of situation, there is no difference. You actually do way better for yourself by, you know, if you're gonna call someone out and they're actually in your division and the opportunity is within a stone's throw away, so the call out actually makes sense. And even if you're trying to do it as something else, and then that bluff is called, that's the shit that boxing fans love. Oh, he checked them. Oh, now he backing off. But then you go ahead and do something else, and then you spin the block. Like, yeah, I don't want people to think I was ducking your bitch ass. I just had to go handle something, and maybe it might have been my bad that I should have specified that you would be next after this thing I already had lined up. But then sometimes you could call somebody out, create that drama, then there's a strong fight right there, and then your plan is this strong fight, and you knew you were next. You feel what I'm saying? Like the situation with Tank when he made those 2 fights back to back, the Ryan, and I forgot who he fought before Ryan. Hector. So yeah. So it's just like,
you cut out. You cut out, AC.
Take the headphones out your ear. That's just locked into one channel, one voice. You feel what I'm saying? That one guy is just gaslighting the shit out of you and saying all of this stuff, but he doesn't want to bring up these things that actually happened in real life. You feel what I'm saying? Because people of nowadays say, "What you mean? You can't negotiate two fights at the same time? What are you talking about? That shit ain't never happened. You don't know shit about boxing." Okay, so what about when Tank did it? Oh, that was different. Oh, but I thought I didn't know shit about boxing, but I got a clear example for you. We see fighters make a 3-fight deal sometimes, and all 3 fighters are announced. Win, lose, or draw. So what's the issue? Turk is good for that. Yeah, we got this guy facing this guy, and Wilder facing this guy, and AJ facing this guy. They both win the fight right there. They get to see each other. That's 2 fights made simultaneously. The fuck are you talking about? So it's just like the selective memory and the selective outrage, and I know everything about boxing, but I can't draw references from shit that happened recently in my lifetime. And I'm talking within the past 10 years, and in most cases within the past 5 years. Motherfucker, if your memory can't go back 5 years from now, bro, there's a problem with you.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you what they're gonna say, and I'm gonna kick this narrative in the ass like right now. Man, I just the hate that Boots get, man. It's just, I don't know why they hate this dude so much. I don't know why. He just, man, it's just out of this world, the hate he gets. It's like, no, listen, fam. Listen, fam. He got out there, he said, these are the people, who won it? He said, Bakhram can get it, Mel can get it. He said he wanted Virgil Ortiz. Like, he called out a plethora from Dora. He's like, this is my division. He said, I'm on a belt tour. The owner of one of them belts came out and said, I'll be your Huckleberry. I'm ready. Mel Charlo, who was the former undisputed, the guy that galvanized the division. He was Thanos at one point in time. He never lost again after he unified. He never lost again at 154. He went up and lost to Canelo. He didn't lose again. He didn't fight again yet. He came out and was like, what's up? What's up? I give Boots all kind of problems. Like, there is no hate. There is like, now it's time to stand on what you said you was about. The same shit that they be getting on Tank about. Now you have a real situation where this ain't no stuff like with Tank. Like okay, we can say, all right, Tank. Everybody get to say his name, and then he makes his announcement when he makes his announcement. This is totally different, bro.
But Body, I gotta cut you off right there. I hear what you're saying, my guy. That's all well and dandy. But Boots wasn't serious about that. He did what he's supposed to do. You're supposed to talk shit at that point. You know what I'm saying? He just did what he's supposed to do. You're supposed to call out the other champions. You feel me? Whether or not you fight them, that shit don't matter. But in that situation, that's what you're supposed to do. And I literally heard a dude tell me that. And I was like, okay, so when we're in this era that a call out is not a call out, depending on when the call out and the setting of the call out. So a dude gotta, be in his boxer shorts with his chancletas on, a little smoking jacket, sitting up there with the slow music on, rose petals on the bed, like, you know who I'd like to fight next? Yeah, let's get it on, baby. You feel what I'm saying? It's like, no, the call out is not like that. If you guys want to harp on every Shakur call out and say, well, he called these people out, they ducked them. You feel what I'm saying? Why you don't want to hold Boots, why you don't want to hold the call outs that Mel and what's the name just did? Why are those not real call outs? You know what I'm saying? If those are not real call-outs, then someone please explain to me what is the definition of a call-out? Because people have been saying for years, Shakur calls these guys out and they don't want to fight him. So what is the definition of a call out? Maybe that needs to be a whole new 2-hour cook on just giving a running a call out through a fine-tooth comb, giving it a definitive, definition, and saying under whatever circumstances this is for a real call out, instead of just going with a call out being something that's relegated to, all right, you just won the fight. You called these people out in the ring, but then that's what you were supposed to do. Okay, so then what's the follow-up? Just like in real journalism, you ask a person a question, they give you an answer that's kind of sketchy, or an answer that's like, whoa, okay, so here's the follow-up to that. I mean, where's the follow-up? Where's the actions to follow up those call-outs? So like I just said, if you're gonna give us the WBA champion, and then say, you know what, I'm gonna make the fight with the WBA champion, and Eddie, simultaneously, I want you to, set up, reach out to Mel Charlo, reach out to his promotional team, or even reach out to Bakhram. Let Mel get two goddamn tune-up fights in there. Let Mel get 2 tune-up fights, and then after Mel got those 2 tune-up fights, you're way more active than him, and stuff like that. All right, give him the 2 tune-up fights. You go ahead and you fight the WBA champ. You're now going to live up to your belt tour. You went after the WBA champ. Everybody pretty much know that that's the play you really, 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 really want to do. The Virgil fight is smoke and mirrors. You're not looking to fight Virgil anytime soon. And for me personally, if you telling me you're going after belts, the Virgil fights makes even less sense. Go after those belts. Like people were trying to say, let it be a Virgil and you type thing. So wow. But I'll hold it down if you could hear me. But basically, what I'm saying is this: give that man the opportunity to get back in boxing shape. If you want to be lineal champion, he's still there. I don't think they make a lineal fight, and they may try to circumvent your lineal champion and say, no, this is not really for lineal championship. This is just for the ring. This is just for the ring belt. That shit would be really, really weird, and it would expose the shit out of you, and how Eddie Hearn and the Turk might be trying to move you and shit like that. The real lineal champion is right there. He just called you out. If you want to go ahead and fight the WBA guy and then fight Bakhram after that, then go ahead and do that. Ain't nobody gonna have a problem with that. Bakhram is gonna be tied up in a minute, because once Tuesday happened, he's locked in. There's nothing we could do about it, right? Actually, there's nothing we could do about it right now. So at the end of the day, Bakhram is tied up. He's got a dance partner. You know what I'm saying? You don't have a dance partner, so why? We know you're going to go after the WBA champion. Go after the WBA champion, get that belt. Bakhram will be free. I fight Bakhram. Mel gets his 2 tune-ups now. He may be able to squeeze 3, depending on how the negotiations go. But I'm quite sure Bakhram is pretty much going to take almost whatever you offer him, as long as it's a 1 point something. So it's a lot of things that can happen. It's a lot of movement that can happen. It's just up to the guy we've been saying for a minute is the A side. Because I truly believe right now you're the A side to every current fighter or every active fighter that's at 54. Cash that shit in, man. You know? Got a bank account. It's good to spend a little money here and there. You could let shit collect interest, but the fights that should be collecting interest is Bakhram and Mel Charlo. Even if you wanted to squeeze one of these other dudes in, then let Mel Charlo build his cachet back up. Give him 3 fights.
If you smart, you get him now, man. You get him. You like, nope. All right, come on. Let you Eddie, man. Listen,
Yeah, if he's smart.
We got fish on the line. Like, if you was really standing on all that stuff you said, your team really want, if you really that guy, if you really the one that they saying you are,
yes, sir.
This would be automatic.
Yeah, and that's that same thing that his pops was saying. If my son is who they say he is, he's gonna get these guys up out of here. And that's where it lies for me. I'm just trying to give a rational path. You know, something that if somebody was gonna come at me and we were gonna have this debate, and you took that talking point that I just mentioned, I would say, okay, yeah, that is plausible. I really don't have an issue with that. You know what I'm saying? As long as the turnover ain't 2-3 years down the line and all of this other goofy shit, you feel what I'm saying? Boots, you're the guy who showed that level of athleticism that you can put, you know, you can fight a minimum of 3 times in 1 year. I know you're moving up to the higher levels, and this is where the fights are supposed to be harder to make and all of that other weird shit. But I still think you could do it, bro. Stop playing.
Out of all these guys, who's chasing greatness?
Honestly, Devin.
Ironically, right?
Yep.
I mean, T.O., we could have said, now, if T.O. would have really went up there and got Boots, we could have said that, but that didn't happen. But the way he moving now, you know, we don't know what's going on with him. I think it's bad. Even though I'm not going to defend him, I do think it's bad what Turkey did. He reneged on his contract, but you right, man. Right now, in the grand scheme of things, Devin is the one that's actually moving, headed for greatness. Because if you go up here and he do what a lot of his OnlyFans say that he can do with Brian Norman, oh my gosh, he's back, and he's back with a vengeance. Like all that clout, he's gonna have clout. He's gonna have clout on Osterring, man. His clout gonna get some Osterring in his system. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, definitely. And that's where, to me, this fight is starting up. Like when it was first announced, I was like, "Yo, that is a relevant ass fight," and I thought that's when Boots was still gonna be there and shit like that. But right now, this fight is starting to, you know, really develop into, you know, a real, in my opinion, just something that can be classified as a real legacy fight, because it's going to be legacy defining for both of them. This fight right here says, all right, who wins this fight controls and runs the 147-pound division.
Yep.
So yeah, until a lot of other things start to get underway and get going and stuff like that, yeah, the more I'm becoming more and more hyped about this fight. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm still staying 10 toes down on my prediction and everything, but I'm hoping, you know, Dev Dollars really comes to show up and show out, because I don't want to see, you know, for the talking point, it would be great for an early stoppage, but I really kind of want to see Norman go through a little bit of adversity with facing someone who's, you know, highly touted as a high level boxer. So just let me see you make some adjustments in real time and, you know, that type of stuff just only adds to the talking points of the victory, of where people can stop saying you're trash and you're this and you're that. You don't know how to do this and you don't know how to do that and all of this other stuff. You know.
Yeah, and look, and true to form, true to his name, and being an assassin on the 50s,
Yeah, you just went out. I didn't hear you.
being the
Body, you can hear me?
yeah, you can't
Oh,
hear me?
yeah, you just went out for you were going in and out in what you just said.
You and said he's still going up to 154 to go see Boots.
Yeah, that's gangster. I love that energy right there. You feel what I'm saying? And after beating Dev, after really beating Dev, I mean, yeah, there's the fan friendly fight. Everybody want to see the two punchers really get it on in there and stuff like that. And that's what Rolly and Brian Norman. But bro, you go up there and you know you chase that Boots fight. You saying something?
Yeah, man. I you know, I want him to, you know, I wouldn't stop him. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't stop him. That'll be his second.
I didn't hear what you said. That would be his second what? Body.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you. It's probably that storm that's heading up my way by tomorrow morning.
It just came down heavy, man.
Yeah,
It wiped out my internet for a second. So all right,
that's crazy work.
it's cutting out again.
Yeah, bro. It's like you'll say something, you'll say it's cutting out again. As soon as you start talking again, it'll shut out again.
Address these things anyway, man. You know, I'm gonna go live 2 or 3 or 4 more times this week anyway.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. But at the end of the day, man, the storm is just fucking up the audio, and it was a good show, bro. We put in the points and everything. People know where we're going with it, and I think they understand where we're going with it and stuff like that. So, you know, 47 is looking promising. Let's just start respecting the call outs. Don't overlook the call outs because this guy's your favorite fighter. I've seen plenty of people call out my favorite fighters that are on the low, and it's like, okay, let me just distinguish whether that's real clout chase or are you serious? You know, so at the end of the day, man, boxing is in a really good place. I don't know where you know people are trying to be consistent on the top talking point where boxing, U.S. boxing is this and U.S. boxing is that. Nah, We just got to support the promoters, support the fighters, you know, ask these promoters to give us the fights that we're looking for, and everybody gets paid and the sport lives and it continues. People say the best thing that happened in boxing in recently was the Canelo versus Terence Crawford fight. Although a lot of people gave it a lot of pushback, in the beginning, no, I ain't watching that, it's that, and that, blah, 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 blah. You get your usual suspects, your usual channels that'll come out and say shit like that. But then as the fight got closer and closer, people saw the difference that the weight did not make a difference, or was looking like it's not going to be a difference. Then the fight became a whole new ball game. So, yeah, that's just where I land that plane and say, listen, there's a lot more good moments in boxing that are really, really good for the sport. And as fans, we just gotta keep pushing it. If you're gonna pull up on a panel, you know, you talking and giving the person their respect or whatever, and just bring these fights up. Like, yeah, I get that fight, and I understand where you coming from with this one, but this is where I think the most relevant fight is. And then you give your reasons for that fight if you can. If it ain't a bunch of, OnlyFans on the panel and shit like that, you give your reasons for that, and hopefully, you're starting to spread the word like COVID,
Yes, sir. All right, brother. Well, shoot, enjoy your evening, man. I appreciate you coming through, man.
Yeah, for sure. Great cook.
Yeah. So I can't. But I definitely gotta celebrate you when you run and do, and you supposed to be doing. These are the people you supposed to be fighting. People that's your size. Yo, trip. You. We do that body work.
He didn't want to box. He wanted to actually prove that he could punch with you. He was like, what the fuck is this nigga, right? Oh, okay, you want to go to sleep. You tired.
Welcome to body work.